Welcome to the Soul Too Early Sports Card Podcast. For optimal experience, please listen in Morse code. That's Kai. I'm making memes great again. Dude, we're here. Episode 52. It has officially been one full year of the Soul Too Early Podcast. Officially, unofficially, whatever. Kai, how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's crazy. We've mentioned it like 3 or 4 of the last episodes about how we thought we were at a year of like the show. We probably were past a year. But
We are.
We actually had a year of like episodes. It's kind of crazy.
Much like quarterback investments going down, we saw this coming. The great 1 year spectacular. While we don't have anything officially planned, we did do the giveaway for the Jaren Jackson Jr. Gold patch. Is currently still sitting on my desk. I did reach out to a person on the last episode. Hopefully they'll get back to me. If they don't, I guess we'll figure it out then. We'll do a giveaway today. What I might try and actually do, because this is a perfect segue into it. Kai, you and I were actually talking recently about expanding your horizons and like getting back into doing what you love. I know you're personally taking a little bit of a more step back and like collecting like just a cool shit you enjoy. What I found, and something that was really interesting to me, was making fucking memes about sports cards. And just really embracing the stupidity of our hobby. And I love it. And I really do love what we do. So rather than just like poke memes and like, haha, do whatever David wants to do, I decided to make fucking apparel. I'm making shirts now.
Who saw this coming? No one.
I did, dude, Kai. I didn't even see this coming because I made this on Friday. So at the time of recording, 4 days ago, I was scrolling through Instagram instead of doing work, and I was like, "Here's how to set up a shop on Etsy," and like how to automate. I'm like, "Fuck it, why not?" So at this moment in time, 2 shirts, a couple more in production. Fuck it, I'm gonna give away one of these shirts or a hoodie if you want that, to one person who comments on this video, minimum of 5. What are your like favorite sports card related memes? What is something that like an industry wide, like, hey, if I'm in the sports card industry, I'm in the sports card hobby, this is something that makes me think of that. Whether it's like Brandon Cooks 1099,
that was
or
gonna be my answer,
or shit like that. So give us a good meme in the comments, and I'll
we need to get one of those basic t-shirts but hoodie version.
What do you mean?
The Soul Too Early with a hoodie.
Oh yeah, I should probably do that. I literally taught myself Etsy and like the background of it in like an hour.
Some people make bank off Etsy, like some of those stores on there.
So I will say this because once again, I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. Per shirt, I think I make like $3 or $4 per. The hoodie is like 8 to 10. It doesn't matter. Like I'd have to hold no inventory. My entire goal with this was like, oh, that's funny. Okay, let's do it. There's like 4 shirts in production already. A couple more on Fiverr that I'm getting ready to launch over every couple days, maybe every week. I don't know yet. Kai, I've done this for 4 days. I'm not thinking that far ahead yet.
You gotta make like a clothing launch. I can get like 4 or 5 really good designs together and then like drop it all at once, like limited quantity.
That's fair, but I'm stupid and I'm just doing this on the fly, Kai. Because clearly I have no anticipation or any expectations of anything here other than, hey, that's funny. Let me do it.
Yeah, I feel like if you keep making like actually good ones like these, like people will buy them.
Well, that's the thing too. Good. Here's the interesting thing, Kai. We have a podcast that people watch and see. I always wear funny shirts to shows anyway because I don't take myself too seriously. Kai, I wore a fucking ketamine shirt to National. You really think I care?
Can't confirm.
So it doesn't matter. Like it is, might as well just like, oh fuck, might as well get high off your own supply and make stupid t-shirts. I had to be careful, and I said, fuck it. Yeah, so this is what's going to be happening. And I guarantee you now, if you see me at a show, whether it's local, Chicago, Dallas, the National, I go back to Nashville for some reason, oh God, I'll probably be wearing one of these funny shirts, and you'll be like, hey, that's kind of cool. Where'd you buy it? I'll be like, I made it, and here's how you, sir or madam, for some reason, buy this as well. So that's my plug for that. I'm sure I'll do it every week because I'm going to wear funny shirts, and hopefully I get them soon, and we'll see what happens.
You should get like a QR code made for your table when you set up.
Oh, fuck. That's god damn it, Kai. You're so much smarter
You
than
can
me.
scan it when you can be like, hey, shirts, if you want to look at them, you know?
Oh, shit. You know what? I have to do that. So thank you. I need to figure out how to do a QR code. But knowing how I just figure shit out, it'll take me 4 seconds or 2 months. So, oops.
It's $1 million idea.
It's not, dude. Honestly, there's this industry, and I love it, and I really truly do. I think you and I are on parallel paths in a way, where sports cards and everything it's given us over, for me, 8-9 years. And I'm not sure how long you've been in cards for, much
Probably
less.
like 12, 13 years.
But how many years have you looked at it as like flipping cards and a business and
Probably
like all these?
7.
Yeah, so like you have seen, just like I have, like this industry change so much, and I love it. And good, bad, or otherwise, I always will. But I think having a healthy level of criticism and mockery and just like taking it seriously, but not making it unfun, really is the difference. Like I said, you have now mentioned to me that you are looking at ways to improve like your personal collection. I don't really have one. Like I'm a
You
Giants
do.
fan.
You do.
I have a game worn jersey collection. That's a little
Logo
different.
patches? No.
I sold all of them. That's
All
the
of
thing.
them? I thought you only sold some.
I sold a lot of, like 85% of my logo patches are gone because my mentality was, hey, I love logo patches. These are cool, but why don't I just buy jerseys then? So when I'm talking about PC for cards, I don't have it really anymore. Like some Rutgers guys, sure, if I ever see them, I'll buy them because why not? But my PC now is like game worn jerseys of players I really like, which is that's perfectly fine. It's evolved from cards in this instance to jerseys or any kind of cool memorabilia. I got offered yesterday in a deal like a Larry Bird pre-rookie year like autographed like pamphlet from when he went to Iowa or Iowa State. I don't
One
remember
of those two.
Yeah, I think it was Iowa State. Forgive me, I'm not exactly sure. Doesn't matter. I was offered that in a deal. It was really cool. Couldn't price it, but it was like a cool item I would have considered. If I was a Celtics fan, I probably would have gotten it. But I've always liked memorabilia a little bit more. I like the more tangible asset. And I don't feel compelled to always like try and flip those. And I'm okay with like hanging up a jersey on my wall that's $500 as opposed to holding a $10,000 sports card of some Yankee player, let's say.
Yeah, for me, I think it's more so that me and Joku is the we're, but we're kind of getting not out of cards, but less of our total money into cards and other stuff we're doing. We're going to put it into it. So we wanted to focus more on like buying cards that we actually like rather than like dealing with the day-to-day, like hassle of like dealing with people. That's a whole other topic we can talk about later, maybe another day, but I don't think people talk enough about like how scummy of things people do and like just in the card market. I mean, like we were dealing with someone today who just straight up like just backed out of the deal, like out of nowhere. And like that happens every single day. And I don't think people like really talk about it.
So Kai, and I'm not trying to plug my shop, but like once again, I kind of already made fun of this. I literally have a shirt design. It says like my DMs be like best counter, cash, clean, how much, comps. The way that people communicate in sports cards is fucking actually really sad. Like we just don't seem to have like the ability to be human beings. And I've made fun of these people before in the past. If you are someone who cannot actually fucking form a complete sentence, either in real life or on Instagram, we are not going to get a deal done. Like I understand my prices will be high on cards. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't price my cards every single show. But you know what I will do? I will have at least a sticker price. Because, hey, I don't want to be asked how much is that Barry Sanders card 500 times, or hey, how much is that Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or whatever. I will always set at least a sticker price based on, maybe every 2 months, 3 months, I'll reprice stuff. I'm going on to a bunch of shows. I'll actually like price it more accurately. But I'm happy to be reasonable. Dude, I had a Barry Sanders card. I had sticker to $400. The last sale was $225, and I made a sale on it because, oh shit, my bad. I'm sorry. This sold 3 weeks ago. I didn't see that when I priced this 2 months ago. My bad. Here you go. Like, that's a fair number you gave me. That's a deal. Because the person was a human being, we got a deal done. If he came up to me and said, the last comp is $200, should you take 150? Like, no. Because first off, you don't have the ability to have a conversation. And two, I can't.
Yeah, so a real example for us is like literally this morning we were trying to sell a card to someone. It's not a kid either. It's a grown adult dealing in $1,000 sports cards, and he goes, "I'll offer you $1,200, right?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, cool, like that works." And he's like, "Wait, I want to buy more than one card." And we're like,
better.
"You just offered us $1,200 for this, like we're taking that." And he's like, "But I want to see what else you have before I like commit to my offer." And we're like, "What?" Like, there's people out there that like don't know how to do things, or don't like, why are you dealing in cards if you just don't know how to deal with like money or business? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I don't know how to respond. That's tricky. I mean, I get it. If that was like you and I kind of doing a deal, like, oh yeah, I'll give you $200. All right, let's add it to the tally. What else do I owe you?
well, there's nothing you can like enforce about it. Like, what are we gonna do? We just blocked. Like, it doesn't like there's nothing we can do.
No, but what I'm saying to you is like if it was like between like two friends, like Mikey and I, or you and I, if we were making a deal, like, oh yeah, just add it to the tally, $200 right here. I'd go through the rest of your cards, grab like 4 others, like, oh, it's 12, that's $500, that's this and that. Handshake, it's a deal, no problem. When a random does that and like you're getting like that weird vibe, yeah, I kind of don't blame you for being like, no, that's like we're good with this offer. Like let's proceed.
Well, the thing is, we only posted one card. It's not like we posted a whole lot. It was literally for one card.
Okay, that's a little different. That's a little weird. That context makes me feel a little different about it then.
Yeah, I get your point too. You're exactly what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, being a human, being a human being,
being a normal, reasonable, fair, nice person.
Yeah, how fucking dare? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's really interactions on Instagram have easily worn down my patience the most of anything.
Easily.
I wouldn't say it's translated back to the real world a ton, but I would be lying if it wasn't some small impact because I just don't deal with bullshit very well on a good day. That's maybe just how I was raised, maybe just like my environment, whatever else. I'm not good with bullshit. I am very, very fucking direct, and I don't really mind saying how it is. But Instagram interactions can make you question how someone actually got here. Like, how did you not like stick crayons up your nose and suffocate?
It's not even Instagram. It's everything. Discord, even though Discord's great for selling, Facebook, like people are just when you think about it, it's crazy.
I love Ryan's Discord. I've said that a bunch of times. The opportunities that have come there are well worth what I've paid for it. So like it's an awesome tool for how I use it, and I'll recommend it to anyone who wants to. I don't use it every single day. I don't preach it's the gospel. For me, it exists as a tool to prep for story sales and maybe catch a good deal every now and again. What I will see though is everyone thinks they're like a little Roth's cards or sports card investor or like some wannabe hypebeast who thinks that anyone will take like a 70% offer. If you have prices fairly adjusted on Discord, you'll get offered 70% most of the time. And then you'll find a real person who wants to buy it and they'll offer you a fair number and you'll get a deal done. But everyone thinks they are that hypebeast douchebag who can't sell or who can buy at 70%. And they just have no fucking personality.
Well, the thing is, they feel like they're entitled for you to sell it at 70%.
Yes.
And, like, this doesn't make sense to me. They're like, oh, I need to buy it 70, 80%, or it doesn't make sense for me. It's like, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to sell it at that. Like,
but that's exactly it. So you run into the issue that most people have. I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. This is what I can offer, and this is what I'm happy to pay. But if you can't take it, that's fine, dude. I've told several people. You can go through my DMs if you want to. I've said several times, hey, you'll get a better offer than what I can do. But here's what I can offer. And I'll be fucking straight up. I have been around buying under eBay comps for 7 years, 8 years even on Instagram. People know who I am. I am pretty decently respected, I imagine. I used to be much more of an asshole. I think I've mellowed out a bunch. I think people kind of know the deal with me whenever I buy shit. Because I've now assumed the OG level, I would think. People know I get shit done. People know I'm good to deal with, whatever else. If you are sports collector 111212 and you have 40 followers and you're trying to buy 70% comps, yeah, it's just not gonna. You're not gonna be here long. Like it's just not gonna happen. Everyone would buy at 70% comps. Like what makes you different?
Yeah, that's a tough part too with dealing on a day-to-day basis because I mean, if you're buying Bowman Chrome and Hype right now, or you're buying football, like, I mean, to move that kind of stuff for the most part, unless you're grading it, like, you just have to deal with those people. And then on top of that, my next biggest pet peeve is the entire, like, buying, like, Bowman Chrome, I guess is a good example, or like Prism, where people get so upset if a card isn't, like, gonna gem when they get it. Even though when you could note, like, it's near mint or better, like, we had an example where we sold I think it was like a Roman Anthony auto or something, and I guaranteed the dude it would at least get a 9, and he was not happy.
Kai,
He was like,
are you intentionally like giving me layups for this? Because this was not planned, but can I interest you in my condition looks gem plus to me? Because once again, the two things you have called out, I guess this is just what happens. You do a podcast for a year plus. Fucking, this is the exact shit I want to make fun of and like really kind of dig into. Is like the flakiness of DMs, the memes that exist within this industry. It's so fucking stupid. Like who died and gave you the right to assume that every card you buy is a PSA 10? I don't like. What the fuck do you actually think is going to happen? Are you an NPC? Do you actually exist as a human being? What the fuck do you actually want here? And I agree with you 100%. It's really, really funny that these people will pout and bitch and moan. And then somehow, some way, they do find suckers who will sell them clean Bowman Chrome at 70% comps. And then they expect the PSA 10 at 9s or God forbid 8s. They're going to go on like a fucking, they're going to have a stroke.
Yeah. There's nothing really you can do about it. I mean, I think we just I usually say like the one thing I try to do to kind of get around it is I'm like everything raw is near mint or better. I mean, I'll note if there's some crazy issue. I can send you a front and back picture of the card if you want, but like other than that, I don't really know what to tell you.
You want 87 pictures of the card?
Yeah. I'll send a front and back picture if they want like something closer, I'll send it, but after that it's like just don't buy it if you're that freaked out.
I have said this a bunch. I would be okay if this industry went to 0. I'd be okay if this industry went to 2020 heights and beyond. Because, like, I feel like I win either way. If it went to 0, dude, the collector in me would come back out and I'd be very happy to buy.
Same. That's where I'm trying to get to right now.
I'm a little jealous because I have lost that passion and, like, that love of the collecting side. I lost it years ago. And once again, good, bad, or otherwise, I at least will admit that. I don't even see cards anymore. I see numbers. And I don't really think it's good. It is financially successful, but it's not good. And I don't really want to embrace it fully because I like to be an actual fucking human being and not like, I don't know how else to describe it, but just like a robot. Yeah.
That's where I was getting to too. That's why, I mean, I made some like save searches on my eBay for like, I'm really into like the baseball, like dual triple autos from like people I watched while I was growing up, like game use patch autos. Like I'm starting to get into like vintage in-person autographs with like inscriptions.
I actually
super cool.
Did you see the Cepeda I bought or I traded for yesterday? It was really cool. Orlando Cepeda.
Yeah, see, the problem is I just don't really care about it.
Well, no, I know that. But for instance, I picked up a 1958 top Cepeda. It was Baby Bull inscribed and NL 1967.
That's MVP. Sick though.
It was $600 in trade.
I think those are so, especially if they're a rookie card. Like I know for some reason people charge more to sign their rookies now, but the rookie ones, I think long term are probably one of the best things you can buy right now.
It's here's what I know too. If I get that card, because I moved my Gowdy Ruth, that was part of the deal, and I got back some vintage and some cash. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got my number. I know vintage is pretty easy to move. People want this stuff. I know it's going to go to a collector. I already moved 2 of the items I got. I moved it to a friend. Like I was happy. And the items I got back might take 3 months to move, might take 6. I know when those eventually do either sell on eBay or go to a show and get traded or sold, they're going to go to a collector. And I'm okay with that. Of course, I want to own inventory and flip it over and constantly cycle it, which I'm always trying to do. But I have really kind of found my niche in the in-between life between like the people who want to do this full time or do this full time and like truly love this. I have found my lane, good, bad, or otherwise.
Well, the thing that's kind of cool going back to those like cooler cards, like the in-person autographs, game used, whatever, is if you own it, you can sell it for kind of like very strong compared to those dog shit other cards. No one's selling them at 70%. And
No.
people are going to buy them for 100, 120, 130%. It's cool enough, good enough card.
I mean, if you have a nice patch of like
very liquid too, like they're not hard to move either.
Yeah, if you have an Austin Riley patch auto, I imagine what the ceiling on that is probably $500, but the floor is probably 75. And if like you find another Braves collector who really wants that Austin Riley card, they'll pay you. If you bought it for $75, you'll get 100. You might get 115. You'll get a fair number.
Yeah, it's not as much of like a rat race as like the crazy hype all that stuff is.
There is a balance to all of this. Dude, football really kind of feels like it fell off a cliff. Like I imagine the buying opportunity would be later in the year, but everyone was shitting on Brock Purdy this past week. If you really believed in him, you could have bought him for like pretty good prices, which is really interesting.
That whole thing's weird too. He's probably top. He's probably one of the most expensive quarterbacks right now for cards, right? Top 3.
Well, that's what seems to happen. Whenever a new quarterback does come out with new products, everything like that, you're gonna see the comparisons. Like, oh, I could have bought a Tom Brady patch auto, for $4,000, or a Brock Purdy napkin NTRPA. It's like, why the fuck is this happening? I mean, we know why it does. For everyone who is not aware, it's because hype outsells production. Brock Purdy could be anything. He could even be Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's Tom Brady. It's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, I think most collectors would take the Brady in that instance. Most flippers would try and get the Brock Purdy and dump it on someone else. Like, I really do, and I will stand by this forever. This is such a cutthroat industry. The more you try to step into the high-end world, you just have to be aware that you're kind of on your own in a way. It really is not great in that high-end world.
Well, the problem is with the majority of the high-end stuff, like the modern stuff, quarterbacks, prospect, like there's probably 5% of people buying those cards are actually collecting them. Everyone else is trying to flip them to the next person. Like,
where's the fucking bottom though? That's the interesting thing is like the greater fool theory is one of my favorite things ever. And basically it's saying like, you the second you get an asset and you want to move it immediately, you find a bigger fucking schmuck with more money than you, and you try and flip it right away to them. Someone eventually does give up holding the bag, and that asset will eventually theoretically get to zero. I don't know, the exact wording might be a little different. It's probably very different than what I just said, but the idea being is there's always another sucker to take that high-end asset, that very, very need to have an asset, and hopefully move it to someone else before you get stuck holding it.
Yeah. That's never going to change either. I mean,
no, dude, we have to embrace it. I bought into 10 cases of Bowman Chrome for a random player, hoping to hit Ethan Salas and maybe get the super or at least a true color and make stupid money because Ethan Salas outsells probably 99.8% of players in the MLB right now. I have to embrace it. So do you if you want to be potentially flipping big numbers of cards and whatever else. Whether or not you believe in it is a different conversation, but you have to play the game. And if everyone plays it and you're not, where do you fall within this industry?
I think the most important part of the game is finishing the game before other people finish it, which selling the cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really have loved that change within this industry in the last couple of years. I don't fucking, dude, I don't care if you flip cards. I don't care if you make money. I'm happy for you. I really am. All I want above anything else is people to think critically about what they're doing and why. If you choose to ignore that information and like you just do it because you want to, you're probably doing the correct thing, but at least think critically about it. That is all that matters. Dude, I fucking hate Bowman Chrome. I hate buying the 18-year-old low A player batting 240 because he sells more than Freddie Freeman or Mookie Betts or X, Y, and Z. But I also know that, hey, in order to make the most money out of this asset, I need to buy it, I need to grade it, I need to wait to sell it. Second he debuts or second he looks pretty promising, move it. Don't even care. I hope the guy who gets it from me makes a ton of money. If they don't, all right, I can't help that, but I hope you do well. Man, I'll take this money and move on to something else. And that's how I look at 98% of my transactions.
Yeah, we've always thought about the thing of like, oh, if we held all of the guys we really liked in baseball, one of them is bound to pop off, and
Are they though?
Well,
are they
here's
really
my point though. One of them, you think that one of them is bound to pop off or have a great career, but then the thing is, the other 9 out of the 10 are going to equal out your net to 0, basically, or negative if you hold all of them. So you might as well just get out of all of them.
Even if they're good, you can buy back in 5 years into their career.
Yeah,
like you can really at some point you can buy in for nothing, which is really funny. At least in Bowman. Football is a little different of a conversation. For instance, basketball is kind of finicky too, but at least in Bowman Chrome baseball,
I mean football too, though. If you're not one of the top 3 quarterbacks, your cards go down every year, pretty much.
It's so weird. NTRPAs will always have substantial value. Whether or not they equal out properly is a different conversation, but there's some market opportunities there. I almost feel like Jalen Hurts is pretty cheap compared to what his talent level is, but he just doesn't have... I don't know how to describe it. He just doesn't have like that it factor. He has a rabid fan base that believes in him and loves him, but his prices feel like almost like a bargain bin.
What's he, like half a Herbert?
Something like that. I don't have it exactly memorized.
Just off rough guess. I feel like
I'm not out here buying Jalen Hurts NTRPAs. They're in my budget, which is hilarious. They shouldn't be, and I'm a Giants fan. I fucking hate the Eagles, but even I know he is a pretty incredible player. So
yeah, nothing really makes sense.
But that's the beauty of this industry, is if you fucking identify the stuff that makes no sense and you either play along or you choose to completely ignore it, you can have success. And that is why I love it. There's a million ways to make money in sports cards, and you just have to accept that fucking is the stupidest industry in the world, and you should buy my merch to prove it. it's dumb.
Use code
stupidity for 10% off.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna have to promote. We're not gonna do like FanDuel or DraftKings or Raid Shadow Legends. We're gonna have to just do this. I don't know. It's so... I really think too that you're choosing a good time to take a step back from the flipping side of things, because we are in a lull. I know people went to Nashville this past week. From what I saw, it was really a mixed bag. The people who buy everything, I think, had a very good show experience from everything that I saw and was able to speak to people about. But if you were like an average vendor, like an average show goer, you had an okay time. It wasn't anything special. It's a tricky show. I like Nashville. Have you been or no?
I've not.
Okay, so let me describe it to you real quick. The Nashville show is not in Nashville proper. It's like on like a little adjacent area. It's a big room. It's a big like location, but there's no food or drink available. And immediately right around the show, you have like the stereotypical like water and hot dogs and like nachos, like that kind of food service available. But you have to like Uber Eats everything else. Now, if you compare that to a Dallas, for instance, for anyone who has not been to the Dallas show, it's in a hotel. The convention center is right there. It's incredible. If you walk across the street, you have like a little village of like food and drinks and like shops. It's actually a very nice area. They also have a grocery store 0.1 mile away from the location. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite spot to go to for a show, the only annoying part is like a 40-minute drive away from the airport. Chicago is 5 minutes away. If you ever go to the Delano Stevens Convention Center, it is 5 minutes from the airport. There's 5 or 6 hotels like within walking distance of the show. And while there's not food or drink readily available, every collector is in this little hub basically, and it makes making deals and like trade nights and everything else easier. So they both have their pros. The Nashville show doesn't have that because it's not a central location. There's not food or drink available really, and people might be staying in Nashville proper, might be staying on the outskirts, might be here or there. It's not the best location for a show. You can do well there, but it's tough.
Yeah, I think Dallas is by far my favorite like setup. I think for like for the entire experience, I would say Dallas is the best setup. I think for outside stuff to do, Dallas is the best. And then I think maybe for the, like you said, the congregation and like trading and trade nights, I think Chicago is probably the best.
Chicago has a lot of pros. My favorite thing about it is that you are just so close to the airport. Like,
yeah,
it really makes the entire travel experience a breeze. Dallas a little bit finicky. I mean, you could hit some bad traffic there. You could have an issue. The airport for Dallas is the best, especially if you go like through United like I do, because it's not hubbed there. It's super quiet, super quick. Chicago is good. Chicago has, if there was like more food options available, like right around there, I think it would be the best option. But they both have their pros and cons. Nashville doesn't really have the pros that you look for in a show location.
It's a show.
It's a show. I would call it a tier below the Dallas and Chicago's of the world. I think Nashville is like a tier C show. If I was to quickly organize it, it'd be like S tier is a national, A tier would be Burbank, B tier would be Dallas and Chicago, C tier would be like Nashville, Atlanta, the San Diego show. I think Tampa has a show as well. There's a lot of fucking shows like I can't really truly. Chantilly I'd put probably on the C tier. East Coast National. There's a lot of shows that are out there, and while I would like to experience all of them, I also know I'd go fucking crazy. Like I like having a balance.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. For you, it makes sense to go to a lot of them though. As many as you want to or can, I guess.
That's the keyword is can and want to.
Want to,
like,
yeah.
The show cycle is about to pick up one last time for me at the end of the year. Dallas is 3 weeks away now. You and Joku do have a showcase with me. Whether or not you guys use it or not is a different conversation, but you at least paid for it. Not refundable, by the way. Oops. That's on you guys. And then Chicago, which will be interesting. And then that's it. Because then there's Thanksgiving and Christmas. And who the fuck wants to do sports cards?
They plan like shows during December or no?
Not that I know of. I think the first show of 2024 is Atlanta, which is like the main draw. I don't intend on going to it. I mean, something could change, but like, I didn't like the show the one time I went.
Yeah, I think to make that one worth going to, you need to like have something else you're gonna do while you're there. Really.
Well, that's why I enjoyed it when we went to like the Hawks game with everyone. Like we rented a suite. Like that was a cool experience. Like that, I remember significantly more than the show. And that's coming up on 2 years at this point, which is crazy to say out loud. Like the show is fine, but it just like, I will give them a lot of credit for this. They try and make it more than a show. It just personally doesn't appeal to me. But you know what? They're doing something right there. It obviously continues to be something they're either making money on or people continue to go to, and like there is a pro to it. I personally don't see it. But that's I'm not telling you not to go to the show. This is just my perspective.
Are they doing the basketball stuff again?
I
haven't looked at it at all, so I don't know.
I think they are. The reason why I like what they're doing with it now is, according to Prism Guide, I believe it's for charity, which is a big fucking plus in my book. So if that is true, I'll probably end up donating to it as well. And while not supporting with my attendance there, like, oh, you're doing a good thing. How dare you do charity?
I'm confused. What part of are you talking about the game is for charity?
Maybe the attendance is,
or like what part of that? Like, where do they get the money from?
Maybe they're selling tickets and like a part of it goes to charity. I don't know, Kai. I've not looked at this in like 6 months. Whenever they announce it, or he like put it on Instagram, he made a story about it. I don't know. I know that they're partnering with someone for charity, which is good. That's all I care about. Details, nah, Who needs details?
Yeah, I was just thinking if they're selling tickets, like there's no chance I would pay money to watch them play basketball.
I mean, you remind, last year was Tyler and C-Buzz getting into a fight. Yeah, that's a year ago. Oh my god, that's so stupid, man. I love Tyler. Tyler is, and I'm talking about Santiago Sports. I love Tyler a lot. I've known him forever, like probably 5 or 6 years at this point. He's very unapologetically himself. And I respect that a ton because obviously when you're like that and you have like a very abrasive personality, which I think you would admit he does, good, bad, or otherwise, you are authentically you. And I respect it. I really do. I think it's really funny.
It's better than 95% of the other people. So
That's not, yeah, exactly. That's pretty good praise. I've talked to C-Buzz once in real life. It was like 3 a.m. at Dallas, and he was like still up doing trades with people. I'm like, okay. I was surprised. It was a nice conversation. I was just like, what the fuck are you still doing? I went to bed. I was getting ready for a flight home, and he was up doing trades with like 600 people that were like hammered. I was like, all right, that's interesting.
yeah, I think he has a lot of like other stuff going on with like
I think they're in like, as far as I know, he's like in Asia somewhere right now on vacation. Good for him.
Yeah.
I wish I was there, but I don't know. I as people, I really don't. As people go, I don't mind a lot of card collectors when they make cringy content. I am able to separate the personality of a C-Bless card, say if that's someone I don't like, versus like Chad himself or whatever. I think that's his name. Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
I don't know. Fucking, it doesn't matter. Exactly. I can separate card collector 11212 versus like Dom, or the guy who runs the account. Like as people, I like 98% of people. There's very few card collectors who I genuinely do not like as people. So
I think I'm less than that. I think like 1% I like.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. It's tough to find people that are like normal and like friendly and not dumb, not stupid, not scummy. It's hard.
But that, and you, Joku, and I are in the same boat of like, it wears you down. I don't know about you guys, but I answer every single DM I've ever gotten. I have no like message requests waiting for me to answer.
We do too.
Like, I at least have the common decency to text everyone back, good, bad, or otherwise, unless you're just like, fuck you, like, which maybe will happen once.
Your stupid shirts.
Yeah, fuck your stupid shirts. Like, this is shit. What is funny, though, is one of my friends did say, I have something for your shirt design. He's like, oh, sure. I'm like, oh, no, that's funny. They're shit. I get it. But, like, if you can take yourself 80% seriously, you'll do well. But when you get the constant amount of dumb DMs, it does wear you down. Not Nate. What's fucking TRC collector's name? Oh my god, Nate. I think it's Nate.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I'm pretty sure it's Nate.
Oh god, I'm so bad. This is why I deal more with like people's Instagram names than like their actual names. I believe.
Well, you see it like every day. Just scrolling, you'll see their Instagram names. It's just so much easier to remember them.
Yeah, it is Nate. I'm sorry. I was listening to the Cardboard Illuminati podcast earlier today.
Oh, did they start it again?
They have restarted. They're doing monthly episodes and then weekly like tidbit episodes. And Nate was talking about like just funny interactions with customers, and he just like grills people, and they fully deserve it. I am very lucky I don't have a job like that in customer service or like a shop, because I think I would actually have an aneurysm.
Could never do that. I couldn't.
I will give him a lot of credit. I'll give anyone who works in like the service industry.
He's a card shop?
He works for Sports Card Junction.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's in like Pittsburgh. I will give anyone who works directly face to face with consumers a lot of credit, because it's really fucking hard. I remember doing it when I was like younger as like a server or like a host or whatever else, and I thought people were dumb then. To do it in an industry like this, which you really love, oh god, it's bad.
It probably has its down. It also probably has its up though. I feel like or ups though. I feel like you can get some like cool experiences out of it.
I don't know if I'd ever work for a card shop. I would I would work for like a company. It'd be really funny after all the shit I've talked to be like Panini's like social media guy. They could really use it. First
They
off,
could really pay you too.
I'm not going to deny that one. I did apply to Alt for the social media gig. As far as I know, they've not gotten back to me, so I'm clearly getting the job. Oops. Um, I would do very well if I was just told, "Hey, here's like the 5 things you can't say. Go wild."
I would love to see that in
Dude,
action.
I would crush. Only because I would take my job 70% seriously and just fucking poke fun the other 30%.
I would destroy the over on the amount of things you post or whatever that get like flagged for the HR team or whatever.
The HR team just like they have a real boom after hiring me. They're not sure why. They went from 1 person to 17. It's like, oh, we hired this asshole. Oops. I'd be good at my job, and I would poke so many holes. And the issue is too is that I over 8 years on Instagram, I actually only have like 100 to 150 accounts blocked. You'd be surprised who's made the block list for me.
Probably.
You would be surprised because guess what? Scumbags exist in every age. Some have turned it around shockingly, become notable people within our industry. Others haven't, and they're still scummy today. And that's generally how someone gets blocked from me. I mean, at this point now, I knock on wood, I've been scammed once in my life for $150 back in like 2016, 2017 when I sent friends and family and got scammed. I've never been scammed since, knock on more wood, because I learned a lesson which was infinitely valuable. So the only real way people get blocked by me now is just being a scummy person and trying to either steal cards or make deals they shouldn't or whatever else. You'd be surprised who's made my block list after this much time.
Yeah, I'm at the point where like you've really got to piss me off to make me put the effort in to block you. Otherwise, I'll just ignore you. But I definitely have at least like 50, 60 people on mine.
It's pretty good. Like blocking is very like immature high school bullshit. The restricting is so much worse.
I don't even know what that means. Is that a new thing?
So restricting on Instagram, I believe it is you can like see when they message you. I think you can message them back. They're not allowed to like comment on your posts.
What is the point of that?
I think the point is like you block them without them knowing you blocked them. I think that's.
Wouldn't you be able to see you can't comment though? Maybe it's meant to. It might be meant for like bigger people who don't want to lose their followers but want to prohibit people from commenting like crazy things.
No, so actually I have this set up on my account and I recommend this to everyone actually. The only way you can comment on my posts is if you're following me.
Yeah.
The only reason why I have that is not because I need more followers for my ego. Remember how actually at this point now, it might be like a year ago. You remember how whenever you like use hashtags on Instagram, you get like a bunch of like comments like share this with Pokey Thoughts, share this with Card Thoughts 101.
Yeah.
The bots got so bad that every single post would have like 4, 5, 6, 7 comments, all just clearly bots. I think they're still around. I mean, maybe not as rampant, but I was able to set my settings to only followers can comment, and that got rid of like 99% of them. I don't know about you guys, but I will occasionally get people who like my stories and it's like porn bots. Or they're like add me to a group chat and then like try and send it that way. I don't know. It goes in waves.
I mean, the only way to not have that is to be private, I feel like.
I know that's not fun though. It's the entire point of having like an Instagram.
Yeah.
Or at least like a business one. I don't get it. We can go to a whole different conversation about the porn bots and the issues of that. There's some thirsty motherfuckers in this industry too. I'm trying to think of who.
As I drink water.
Yeah. It's so interesting. This is tough. I don't know if I should say this.
That means you should say it.
Well, I've said this before. I'm going to lead in with this. This is bad. When I'm pausing to say a statement, you know it's questionable. If I was an attractive girl, we'll stop. If I was an attractive girl, I would be the biggest fake whore ever.
You'd be rich off cards.
Oh my dude, Whatnot, Twitch, Discord, whatever. Not even selling sports. I wouldn't even own cards. I wouldn't even know what they were. It would be so interesting. And now everyone's gonna call me a sexist.
That's a clip.
That's a David getting in trouble clip. Hey, you're 45 minutes in, fuckers. You at least listen this far.
You stick around this far, you get the good content.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared about For Sold Too Late, because when those launch, I'm just gonna not have the filter. Because there's a more than 1% chance that legitimately comes the first NA17 sports card related podcast, because we're gonna let Joku say whatever. I'm terrified. He is more inappropriate than me.
If you want to make it even more dangerous, you can make it live.
No, I refuse to have the podcast be live with Joku, because I don't know who would swat him first. Maybe everyone, but he would immediately be in danger. I think we would be two by association.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that. All right, what else is actually important to cover? We're 2 weeks away basically from basketball, if even. When is
maybe like a week or two?
It's fucking crazy,
right?
Dude.
Something like that.
We got to get in our like hot takes for basketball season. Hang on, I'm checking real quick when it tips off. Wednesday, October 25th. Okay. All right. Next week we'll do hot takes for basketball. That's perfectly fine. That actually works out perfectly. NFL, the Giants are dead. I actually don't know what else to say. The Giants are 2-4, 2-5. What is the Giants' record?
2-5.
2-5. Fuck. We're so bad.
You're 1-5.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
I thought they were like 2-5. God,
that's not possible.
No, it's not. The Giants are bad. Shout out Tyrod. I had low expectations for the Giants. I think did I make it up with Joku about them? We were sitting in the bar at Dallas. I don't know who we made a bet about.
I know we bet about Kyler, we bet Bears. I'm pretty sure.
Bears, I'm looking.
That's looking good. I think he has 6.5 or 7.5 wins.
They're 1-5 as well.
That's almost a lock. With Fields hurt too.
With oh my god, what's his name?
Tyson Bagent.
I would have bought Bagent cards before the season that they existed, and like
I like him as an actual. I know it's like kind of a meme because he's whatever, but I actually like him as a prospect a little bit.
I have shit on Justin Fields enough that any validation of that is not required at this point, because I just don't think he's good. He had a couple of good games, but one was against the Broncos, who got up 70 points the week beforehand, and one game he legitimately was good. Maggie Crow there, but I don't see it. I just don't see the quarterback play consistently, and that's an issue. And getting hurt obviously is shitty. I don't root for injuries, but I would not be shocked if the Bears play more consistent with their backup Badgley than Fields.
Super interesting MVP race we got going. It's like
McCaffrey's going to win it. If he's not actually hurt, if he plays Monday night, who do you think?
I think right now it's probably either Tua or Tyreek Hill.
Tua is actually probably the correct answer. I think literally he's number one. Tua right now is not number one. Wait, what?
Brock Purdy.
Oh, this is futures. That's stupid. I don't want
that. I've seen like Brock Purdy, Tua, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill up there in the top 3 or 4.
This is ESPN. Hang on.
Could be missing someone. I'm sure Josh Allen's probably like top 5, 10.
I mean, I would imagine Tua is number 1.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, in my personal opinion, I would have him Tua, Tyreek 1 and 2 probably.
So I actually have it open. This did it work? Okay, we're good. Looks like it's Mahomes and Tua co-MVP plus 350.
Josh
Third
Allen
plus 100. Jalen Hurts plus 800. Brock Purdy for the first game of his career plus now 1,000. Okay. Lamar, Herbert, Goff. Yeah, okay, so McCaffrey's just stupid to say, then fine. He's going to Offensive Player of the Year.
How is Tyreek Hill not up there? Am I missing something?
Tyreek Hill is plus 5,000.
That makes no sense. I mean, he's not going to win, but like...
Well, what would have to happen is Tua would have to get hurt, which is not shocking to say out loud. And then he'd have to like still continue his pace for another 17 games. So it'd be like 2,500 yards and like 20 touchdowns.
Am I missing something with Lamar? What has he done? Am I missing something?
I don't know. I'm sure the Goff is only plus 1,800.
That's what I'm trying to figure out how Lamar's that much better of a chance to win than Jared Goff.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Mahomes.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, like the Jaguars are good, but he hasn't really put up crazy numbers or anything.
Tila has put up 7 touchdowns and 3 picks. Like it's
like 1 touchdown a game.
Yeah, it's like Goff.
Like Goff, I mean, it might not be that much better, but I think it's probably
11 and 3. He's played well the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's way better.
I wonder what Lamar's stats are actually. I'm kind of shocked. But I mean, like with Lamar, I mean it's more rushing.
I've never really followed, so I could just be not realizing he's been good, but
5 touchdowns, 3 picks. And then how's he doing rushing the ball? 4 touchdowns. Okay. He's got more rushing touchdowns already this year than last year, which is interesting.
He missed like 6 or 7 games last year.
And he missed 5 games last year. I mean, that's fine.
I think I'd still rather have Goff season so far.
Purdy, we already know. Jalen, I gotta imagine
he's had not a great year.
7. Yeah, I guess the Jets game kind of sunk him a little bit. He's got a bunch of rushing touchdowns though, right? I think he's got like 5.
Probably a couple. Yeah.
Rushing wise, he has
5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know. I mean,
how many touchdowns does Tua have? Like 15?
Good question.
That's what I would be curious of.
14 and 5. Yeah, I mean, the issue with Tua, and I really do think this, is he's like 1 head injury away from being done. Like, I don't think that's an understatement.
It's not.
It's actually objectively kind of scary with him, which is why I don't think his car prices actually make. What are Tua's car prices?
I mean, he's up like a good amount.
I know, as he should be. How dare you play well and then your cards get bumped as a result? That'll be interesting to see. This will be a good barometer.
But with how good he's been, I think your point's basically like it makes sense that he's not crazy expensive because he's 1 little thing away from being done.
That's technically a 3-color for $13K, 25. Okay.
Like that of Herbert, the 3-color 9.5, it's like a $40,000 card.
PSA 10, 22.5, October 4th.
Yeah. He's very like reasonable for being the MVP favorite. Even though it sounds crazy with how expensive he is, but
26-1, September 18th, True RPA. 3-color. Just crazy.
Yeah. Thing is though, this probably doesn't matter, but if you put Herbert on that team, like I think he's going ballistic, yeah.
I mean, and that's not. I don't think that's an outrageous thing to say. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Waddle, Tyreek Hill,
He would break every
Achan
record.
healthy, Raheem Mostert when healthy, which has actually been this entire season so far. Like it is the most explosive offense in football, and that's not
Probably almost ever.
It's definitely going to be up there. I mean, I think the Broncos are the all-time points per game
I think
leader. We're
so. The
doing it
2013 Broncos. We were
2013
the 16 Falcons were like number 4 or 6 or something.
Yeah, I believe the Broncos average like 30 points a game. That was the
they were great.
year.
And then they scored like 6 in the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, I believe.
And lost like 40.
Oh yeah, that was the year they played the Seahawks, and like the first was a safety. Yeah, because it was the Legion of Boom versus the best offense. Yeah, and the Seahawks beat the fuck out of them.
That was bad.
I do remember that Super Bowl because I left. I was at a family member's house for the game, and we left like third or fourth quarter. It was so bad. What's Hurts doing? Hurts a 3-color RPA, B just 910 is 20 grand like that.
Available for that too, though.
I know. That's the thing is like these guys. There is quote unquote value plays here. Like I mean, I know that's not a true RPA, but like 750 for a Jalen Hurts NT RPA, not true.
Nice patch too.
It doesn't sound that bad. This is kind of funny.
Then you get the Zach Wilson selling for $2,500.
No, that definitely was not. I can't imagine that was paid for, or that wasn't like a best offer accepted. 750 again. True RPA napkin to 25, $6,100. 8, 5, 10, 3-color 93. Like in the sports card world, a quarterback with a rabid fan base who has gotten to the Super Bowl, who put up good numbers in the Super Bowl, I believe. Like, yeah, he put up good numbers.
Yeah.
Like, he checks all the boxes. Is it just because he doesn't have the best passing stats? I mean, he has the weapons. Devonta Smith and AJ Brown are
Julio Jones now too.
I forgot about Julio. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Julio going to the Eagles?
Nothing. I mean, yeah, he's his first ballot Hall of Famer to me, but I don't think he's gonna really be anything anymore. Maybe like a 3-4, but I don't think he'll play a lot. What do you think?
I mean, it's whatever. It's not gonna move the needle.
He hasn't played in like a year, basically. I mean,
yeah, he played 10 games for the Bucks last year.
He's always hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool for him to play well.
I'd be happy for him, but
yeah, he's actually he's in gold standard this year. He's got autos.
It's his stuff so weird. I know a lot of other people are like that, but he didn't sign his rookie stuff from 2011 to like 2016 or 2017. And then since then, he's been in like every product that like has like weird players autos. It's very strange.
Yeah, I see 2020.
Because his redemptions expired from 2011, like a couple years before he ever signed them, and it was a big thing when his stuff got signed. Finally, I had a couple NTs and stuff, and they went crazy when they came back. Because it was like right in the middle of his prime when he actually like obliged and signed them.
You can buy an NCRPA right now, Julio Jones sealed 3-color patch auto, $550.
Yep. I sold a black one with a logo patch during our Super Bowl run for $4,000, and that card, I think the same exact one, ran at auction for like $1,100 the other day.
Do you ever buy back your old cards just like as
like a lot of Matt Ryan's I bought back and then sold them again and bought them back again.
Well, you guys have some weird like rabid fans too.
Yeah, I have a couple group chats with the collectors and stuff. We all like know what's out there.
Yeah.
And I usually can sell stuff like that to them first, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, if you have like a team or a player you collect, I feel like you get to know people and then you kind of have your own network stuff. Like I could probably buy any Matt Ryan card I wanted right now if I just asked a couple people if they knew where one was.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, I have nothing else to think about or add. I think we're good.
I'm good too. NBA next week. We got to think about
NBA next week. We'll get some hot takes ready.
Yep. What do we want to do? Like
Boston Celtics will make the playoffs. I'm gonna
want to do hot takes, MVP, rookie, NBA championship.
We'll use some hot takes in there too. Ben Simmons retiring or Kyrie retiring.
He's pretty solid, actually.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, his market is dead. There was a guy who had a Ben Simmons tattoo over his heart. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. There's some obsessive Ben Simmons guys out there. I know there's one on Instagram too. I'd be lying if I remember his name, but I would not be shocked if that was him.
Yep.
And that's how I'm going to end it. There you go.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah.